Hello, and welcome to verse 9 of From Dust. Hot diggity. Are we already that far in? It's been a little bit, but we're back. We're here. We have Summer. We have the whole crew. I'm so stoked. You didn't miss anything, Summer, I promise.
I know.
Speaking of which, let's start our check-in with you. How have you been? What have you been up to this past fucking month since you were on this show? 2 weeks since, or a week since you were on the channel?
Yeah.
What's been
It's
up?
been having a pretty dope time. Had a big week. Not roleplay related, but if you didn't hear the news via Twitter, I'm pregnant. And I heard the heartbeat for the first time yesterday, and it was hype as hell. And I just cried about it for a long time. It was really exciting. But I kept it together until I left the office and was like in the car. I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Even though I told her I was probably gonna cry, but it was really exciting. So yeah, that happened. Had a lot of really good games this past week. On Thursday, I got to kiss the embodiment of hell.
Whoa. I caught that. That was pretty good.
So, and then I dissolved myself and became one with hell, and it was great. And I did it all on purpose, and that's the truth. I needed and wanted it.
Yeah, you have a kissing rulers of the underworld problem.
Is it a problem, or is it the best solution?
Just don't encourage her.
I want to be encouraged. I want to smooch every bad boy there is. I'm getting them all.
Summer. I'm with you,
no.
Summer.
Thank you.
I can't wait for you to meet some bad boys here then.
And on Monday, in our Invisible Sun game,
Oh God.
I, to get out of a problem, asked out the arch villain on a date. And turns out, he's never been on a date.
Turns out
So
he's just
really
real awkward.
Turns out he's just really lonely. And so I'm very excited about my date coming up. You know, it's just been a really exciting week for me of dating bad boys. And now I get to be back here, and I'm so excited because I've missed my sweet, sad half-elf child. I'm really sad that I had to miss last time. But I did watch the episode and catch up, so I'm really excited to see, kind of, you left it on a cliffhanger, a big one. So I'm really excited to see kind of how that shakes down. It's going to be great. Big week.
Yeah, good times. Well, I'm glad to have you back.
Me too.
It just wasn't the same without your sad boy.
It wasn't the same without me rolling every fucking chance I got
Also that.
and kicking butt
I mean, it clearly
on my way to the top.
wasn't the same, but I don't know if that was a... Never mind. Jess, how about you? What have you been up to?
That was the most awkward segue. What have I been up to? I witnessed Summer basically offer to take the arch villain of the entirety of the actuality thingama that Grant is running for all of us and several other shows. This is the big bad. She's gonna show him the perfect date. My poor little gemstone child, however, had the color sucked out of her and put back
Jesus.
sloppily. So she used to be an Alexandrite, so she would turn red under candlelight and green in daylight. Now she's just a weird purple shade, and she's unhappy.
Sweet bad. Still beautiful, but not the same.
Yeah, it's sad. She's got some things to figure out now. What else happened lately? I did more things to Scraticus's gang and the Ryutama game I run for them. There were tears and emotions and feelings, and
Oh, good.
they're
Tears?
well past the hijinks.
Yes.
There are no more hijinks, just drama.
You eventually get to this point that it's like, oh, we've had a really good time. Now it's time to hurt ourselves. Good times are over.
Yep. We're coming into the final stretch. It's like the last 4 episodes of that, so shit's ramping up.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear you've got their hearts in your hand.
I have broken them.
I mean, that's every GM's goal, right? Right? It's not. What's this collaboration I keep hearing people
Look.
talk about?
They wanted a Black Ryujin campaign.
They did.
I am giving them a Black Ryujin campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair. I've actually been I've been thinking a lot about like how one can play the different Ryujin and Ryutama. And I think it's sort of I struck on a sort of realization that I find really interesting. Is this idea that you can play all 4 of the colors essentially the same, or you can lean into any of the 4 axes with any of them, right? So like you can play a sad green Ryujin game, but it's flavored very differently because of what the green Ryujin does from a sad black Ryujin game. But you can also do you could do a heartwarming but like a kind version of Ryutama with a black Ryujin, but it would be flavored with this like tone of sorrow, and like you'd have to deal with grief and stuff. And I just think that's super interesting. Like when I figured that out, I was like, oh, this game is 10 times has 10 times more depth than I thought it did.
You can do so many different breeds of storytelling with just those 4 things alone.
Mm-hmm.
Quite nice.
Yeah. So I'm glad that is going well for you, and I look forward to seeing how it all wraps up in the next 4 episodes.
I can't wait for them to hate me in the end. Anyway, next.
Moving on. Kiana, how have you been?
I've been good. This is game 4 today. I have been playing role-playing games since 10 a.m. today.
Oh my god.
I had a couple breaks. It's fine.
That's good.
But it's been a day. It's been really super fun. But if you see me eating, it's because I haven't really eaten since about noon. So
Oh no.
Food's important, dinner's important. So
Yes.
I'll be casually munching in the background as we go through this game. But yeah, been good. It's kind of getting into final seasons at school and finale season for streams, so it's been a clusterfuck of planning. We've got this week we did this season 1 penultimate episode for Adventures in the Wild Blue, which
Fuck yeah, fam.
basically it's basically these 2 groups of Lady Blackbird where I just sit back for about like 50 minutes and just let them hurt each other.
Mm-hmm. Who's the crew on that again?
The what? Oh, the crew. It's a story told over 2 different streams, 2 perspectives of the same story. Right. So we got one on Off the Table with Katie, Lauren, That's Salty Ginger, Summer, and Dingo, and then we have one over in Scoticus Academy, which consists of Simon, 1ADM, and Avery or Matt Bat, Julie Graves, art, and Scrat, obviously. So it's been a fucking while because I've been finally starting to do crossover episodes where the really like the mix relationship between the 2 crews is really coming to a head. We had a conversation last night between 3 people where person A and B were exes. Person C had a crush on person B, and person A and C are sisters, and they haven't seen each other in 10 years.
Oh my god. Oh lord, that's so good.
Okay, I need a flow chart.
I have a relationship map.
Kiana has a relationship chart, and it's not even all of the relationships, and it's still buck wild to look at.
It's only the relationships that have been revealed. There's still like a handful that haven't been revealed yet.
Oh
There's
my god.
every episode within the last 2 or 3 especially has just been, like Matthias said, family issues and love triangles the game. Like, it's literally been off the wall crazy. We're having so many sibling relationships revealed, and we're not even done with all of the sibling relationships that have not been revealed, which is fucking crazy.
And my favorite, it's been so cathartic these past few weeks to finally reveal secrets I have been holding on to since the end of August. I've been holding on to backstory. I have been holding on to backstory things. Because it's like, oh yeah, here's Uriah Flint. And I had three players be like, here's my backstory related to Uriah Flint. And I'm like, oh, I have to reconcile all of these. Oh no. And I wasn't expecting Uriah Flint to be a major player. And then he was. And I'm like, oh.
He was huge.
Okay.
He was
Oh,
and is
boy.
a huge player.
Yeah, he may be somebody's sister who he ran away because he murdered his sister's friend. And before that had gotten together with Summer's character and then cheated on her with her best friend, and then the day after skipped town to avoid his murder trial.
Oh my god.
Yep. It's been great.
I see the Pirate King is always a winner.
Yeah. He's currently been kidnapped
Yeah, we have him right now. He's kidnapped in our...
and drenched in alcohol, because that's immediately what the sister character did, was just dump her entire bottle of rum on him.
She gave us all a heart attack because she said she shot him
But with her stun gun.
with her stun
And
gun.
She
But it
didn't tell
literally-
anyone it was a stun gun.
I stopped breathing and my heart stopped beating. I was like, oh, this is death for me. Bye.
So,
yeah.
because he's such an unmitigated bad guy, Summer, you're dating him immediately, right?
Well, we were dating, and then he left without saying goodbye, and we haven't seen each other in 5.5 years. But I'm just now finding out that, yeah, he cheated on me the day before he left on my 16th birthday.
He left because of a murder trial, and then he cheated on her the day before he.
Because
the day
somehow
was
that
like a keeper.
was going to make it easier for me.
He's a complicated person, but he's also an asshole. He's like the cool motive, still murder situation. Cool motive, still murder and cheating and
Yeah.
running away from the law.
Oh god. Well,
Yeah, he sounds like he's about 90% total douchebag.
Yeah. Yep.
perfect.
So, of
I
course,
love
I'm
him.
in love.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously.
Well, I'm glad that you managed to squeeze us in at the end of the day here. I'm sure tonight's session won't ask anything of you in the way of dealing with drama.
Nope. We're just gonna go on a nice little walk, and it'll be very calm and chill, right?
Totally. Totally.
We'll just hang out in
Adam.
the tavern all night. All night.
Yeah, I don't think that's
That never
happening.
goes wrong.
We really need a mental health day.
Adam, how you been?
I've
What have you
been
been up
good.
to?
I've been enjoying the married life, going on adventures with my wife, which has been great fun. I do not remember if we were on our way to or if we had just come back to a LARP last session, but we did that very recently. That was a whole lot of fun, and my wife's really into it, so I'm really happy about that. She drank the punch, and she's really into it. So, being the nerd I am, my heart is warm from this. And I've finally been able to get back into voice acting recently. Nothing I can talk about, obviously,
Right.
because of NDAs and all that. And I've gotten back into painting minis, so that's been terrific as well. And that's really been my last couple weeks.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, pretty chill.
That sounds good. Keeping it chill and getting back to the things that are fun. That's good. I envy you your chillness. Yeah, I have things have not been chill in Casa de Dylan.
What are you talking about? You've totally not been busy at all.
No. So I launched a Kickstarter last Thursday, I think. Yeah, on the 8th. On the 8th. I remember what day, day of the month it was. I don't remember.
That was indeed last Thursday.
Oh god, it feels like so long ago. So I've been working on that. There's actually, if you're watching this on Twitch, there is a little panel that you can see below the video, or you can go check out the Kickstarter for my game. And there's also a command that links it in chat. But yeah, I've been busy on that, sorting out stuff like how to promote the game, and sorting out some streams, which I'm very excited for. The first one that's been announced is actually tomorrow night at 7 o'clock over on Jess's channel. And I will be running the mystery that I ran at Big Bad Con. We did character creation last night, and
Oh boy.
yeah. So the group is Jess and M and Julie, aka Soft Signal, and Lauren, aka JL Nice Girl, and the group is exactly what you would expect from those 4 players, and I can't wait.
So much aesthetic.
Yes.
This
yes.
game can fit so much aesthetic. So whatever.
We did a little bit of world building for that, just to give it a go and see where it went, and I'm very excited to try and fit this extremely noir mystery that I came up with for convention play into the strange like university and restaurant district space that we built last night, along with the doses of anime that of course were infused. It's
Yep.
gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for that. I've been working on that. But yeah, that's been most of what's going on with me. It's and you're gonna be hearing this from me until November 9th when the Kickstarter closes. Kickstarter is what I'm up to, and it's been a lot of fun. These past few days, I've been talking on Twitter about sort of my philosophy, my game design philosophy that I use to make games, and how all of those bits and pieces fit into making Become what it is. So if you're interested in some game design chat, you should check out my Twitter. And yeah, that's sort of it. Did I play in Kamigakure happened? That was recent-ish. Was that? That's
That was
the
a
last
whole
episode
time.
of this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was over on Jess's channel. Kamigakure is another game that is on Kickstarter right now. It's a Japanese tabletop role-playing game, and if you've seen any of Travel, you know how I feel about those. But it's like, it's way more shonen. It's like high action craziness the whole time.
That is high octane peak anime content.
Yeah. Ryutama has this like relaxed Miyazaki flow to it. Kamigakure is like, no, just like punch it up to 11 and go.
Kamigakure is like Fate Zero, probably a dash of Kill la Kill. I haven't seen it, but it seems to carry that vibe a little bit with like durarara, all like throw it in a stew pot, mix it around, and see what pops out.
Yeah. It literally every super extra anime that I've ever watched, I was like, oh yeah, this is Kamigakure. Every single one, I was like, oh yeah, there's this bit of that super extra anime and this bit of that super extra anime.
Adam's
So,
like, tell me more.
it's definitely worth checking out. I'm definitely gonna pick up a copy of it, and there's a strong chance that after it releases, you will see something about it on this channel.
Likewise.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. But tonight, I am excited about our good, dramatic, semi-post-apocalyptic Dungeon World game that we're playing. So, are we just about ready to hop in? Should I do a recap of last episode? And we can get rolling.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
All right.
In a
so
very long time.
30 minutes we're missing. out of my experience.
Yeah. So, yeah, fuck OBS. I mean, not actually, but occasionally fuck OBS. Previously on From Dust, our party woke up after the busy day of musical competitions and confronting one's church dad. Woke up to the sound of bells ringing out across the city, sort of alarm bells that rang for a good 30 minutes or so. The party didn't look into that, so they still don't know what happened. We know, because it happened on camera but away from the party, that Bishop Cavendish, who was Vori's adoptive father, was slain in the church. But the party doesn't know that yet. So they went around. They went along their merry way. Had their day, not worrying about it at all. Arrow, however, was missing. They all just sort of assumed Arrow was having a mood, and went about their day. And headed off toward the ducal palace so that Farron could engage in the competition some more to try and perform for the Duke's daughter's birthday. Along the way, they ran into a sort of rough fellow by the name of Rupert, who called out to Gregor and appeared to be familiar with him. And they talked for a little bit, Rupert being like, "Hey, how have you been, man? How's it going? What's going on?" Gregor did his best to blow him off, saying that he was doing monster hunting now. Rupert, charming gentleman that he was, looked at Farron and Vori and was like, "Oh, so you're just gonna let these two die to the monsters so you get all the money, right?" And Gregor was like, yeah, let's catch up later, and made plans to meet up at the tavern. Gregor was totally comfortable with all of it. The party went to the palace to enter into this competition, only to find out that Farron had been excluded from the list of competitors for the day. Vori tried to confront the Chamberlain about it and get him to correct it, but unfortunately his might of personality was not greater than the Chamberlain's ego, and so the Chamberlain had him removed from the room. Vori did, however, talk to the guard on the way out to explain what was going on, and the guard was fortunately a much less trash human than the Chamberlain, and agreed to go let the Duke's daughter know that some stuff was going on with the competition. Meanwhile, Farron and Helga, the very, very interesting and accomplished bard that Farron met previously, hatched a plan to perform together so that Farron would still compete. And as that happened, the Duke's daughter entered the room, was very impressed, and the Chamberlain had to scramble to cover his own ass. The party headed out. Farron and Helga went on a date, which was very nice, where they both talked about their pasts. Helga revealed that she wasn't always a bard, that previously she'd worked with her father, who was a tailor, before she went out into the wide world to find some adventure and discovered her bardliness. After I wouldn't call it a protracted conversation, but not exactly a short one, they decided to move things elsewhere, and we went to check in on Gregor, who met up with Rupert. Rupert talked a lot about Gregor's past stuff and was like, "Hey, you should come back. Like, Bruno, our leader, he's doing great, but he doesn't talk to people very well, and you were always way better at that. So come on, you should join us." And if I remember correctly, Gregor, you managed to turn him down in that you were like, I've got a big score to finish, but you didn't didn't fully push him away. You weren't like, no, this door is closed. So we can probably expect that to come back eventually. The party went on to finish out the competition at the Duke's Palace. Farron performed admirably. The Chamberlain tried to blow him off and be like, "Yeah, good job, get out." But the Duke's daughter said no, let him stay for a bit. Helga performed. The Duke and the Chamberlain conferred and offered the honor of performing at the Duke's daughter's birthday to Helga, and she declined. She said that she could not accept because her art came from honesty, and performing knowing that she won because the Chamberlain was biased against Farron would not have been honest, and so for that reason alone, she could not accept the offer, and that, my friends, is where we left off. So, after our like title sequence and our previously on for From Dust, we come in on the large vaulted audience chamber of the Duke's Palace. And I think our camera starts on one of the large windows. We can see and hear the rain throwing itself against the panes of glass. We hear a dull rumble of thunder, and our camera cranes down to the three of you, Farron, Vori, and Gregor, along with Helga. You're standing some distance away from the thrones, possibly in a sort of like tense body posture. Helga certainly, and we can hear off from a side chamber muffled yelling. The Duke and the Chamberlain are not in the room. They're off in that side chamber, and that's what we get. What do you do?
Farron's kind of in a bit of a state of shock. Farron kind of turns to Helga. You really didn't have to do that, you know.
I think I did. She sort of scratches her arm nervously. It was the right thing to do.
And, placed a hand on her shoulder. You and I both know that, well, opinion matters quite a lot in our field. The fact that you would put that at risk for doing what is right, I greatly appreciate that.
Make no mention of it. Really.
I kind of squeeze
nothing.
her shoulder a bit reassuringly.
You see her, she like glances nervously at that side door. You hear something like clatter to the ground.
Oh my. Sounds violent in there.
Yes.
Well, is the party still on, or do we take our leave?
Well, I don't know that it would be smart for us to just disappear. And I think at this point the Duke's daughter will get up from her throne and like walk down the steps a little bit and head over toward you. Actually, excuse me, but I think that would be wise. Where are you staying, Mr. Ophir?
The tilted turn. Yes, did I remember correctly?
Yes, you did.
Yay! It's been forever, but I remember.
There will be a quiz at the end of the episode.
I was like, oh god, can't. The tilted turn.
Then I think it would be best for you to go now, and when my father has calmed down, word will be sent to you. But if he is to come out from there and you are still here, I worry that you will be seen as the reason for his frustrations.
Right.
I trust your judgment, my lady. Thank you. And
Your music
Farron will do the.
was
We'll do the
beautiful.
grins and does the takes his hand, does the courtly bow, proper kiss on the back hand.
Give me a... I want to have you guys rolling a little more so you can catch up to Summer.
No.
Summer's so offended.
Okay.
No.
Can you... Was it... It's not... It's been too long. I forgot what they're all called. It's
thinking,
plus charisma, I think. You're acting despite a bad thing. Is what it's
So
called.
charisma what?
Oh my god, why can I... Defy danger! There we go. When you act despite an imminent threat, the imminent threat here is that you're going to embarrass yourself by not being as good at this as you thought you were. No, you do great. So she is quite charmed. You see a flush in her cheeks as she bids you farewell. And the group of you can leave if you would like. All right. Well, the weather has turned as you walk through the echoing stone halls of the Duke's palace and get to the sort of courtyard area. And as you are sort of standing in the doorway, looking out into the heavy driving rain, trying to decide if you want to just like make a run for it or find something to hold over your head, you see a familiar figure standing across the courtyard in the gate. You see Arrow. Arrow, your hair is plastered to your face. You look like a mess. And in your hand is a glowing stone. And you can't open your hand. And you can feel like this numbing cold, like holding onto ice, running up, like through your bones, up your arm. You have come here hoping that this is where your friends are. What do you do?
So I'm like on the other side of a gate from them.
There's a large cobbled courtyard off to one side. There's like a stables and whatnot. You're at the gate, but the portcullis is raised. But at the front of the keep, where there are these two large studded oak doors, you can just see the three of them and Helga looking out into the rain, deciding what to do.
Yeah. Start walking over to them at a brisk pace.
Okay. What do the three of you do?
Hey, Arrow. What you got there, buddy?
Oh, look who finally decided to show up. Where have you been?
Hey Dylan, where have I been?
You were outside the city.
I'm so sorry. Lori asks direct fucking
Don't ask
questions.
me. It's none of your business where I've been.
You were you were just outside the city.
I was on a walkabout. Don't worry about it. So I have it in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing my hand not with the ring.
Correct.
Cool. I think he just, because it's clasped in his hand and he literally can't open it.
Mm-hmm.
I think pretty much the moment he got over to them, he would bring his other hand over to like clasp his fist.
All right. So as you reach, you see this glow sort of wisp off of the nose stone towards the ring, and as that happens, it's like while you're walking, right? And then you get to a few paces from the party, and there's this ringing sound that you heard before in camp. This flash of light, and all of you feel a rush as you're pulled from your bodies to some place distant in time and space, and you see a figure, an Eldrin figure. These tall, lanky creatures. Oh god, I forget what color robes they were wearing. I think it was black and silver. I think. But it's the same one that you saw in the previous vision that was drawing the fire into a bottle. And they are in a place that I think, Vori, you recognize. It's the inside of a volcano. There's this precipice of stone that extends out over the magma, and on it is a massive ruined anvil, and this figure is wielding a hammer with this fire spread out across the anvil, and as they strike, you see bits of like sinew and bone forming under the work of the hammer, and the figure stops hammering, and you're just left with the roar of the heat of the room. And you see them turn to look toward where you don't have a body in this space, but they turn toward where your point of view is. I see. So it works. And then they raise the hammer and strike down on the anvil, and that rushing feeling comes back. An arrow. You are yourself. I think we fade out to white probably, and as we fade back in, we hear the chirping of birds, the sound of a soft breeze through leaves, and we see the warm light of the sun on old stone wrapped in ivy and in flowering vines. And where are you in the city?
So I think that there is this like courtyard that's kind of central to the city. It's kind of a place where people come and mingle and just spend time. It's like a huge open expanse, like similar to like how a market center would be, but it's not a market. It's basically just this huge open stone area, and I think that Arrow comes here a lot just to kind of be on his own. And he's probably just sitting on one of the like lower stone walls, reading.
Okay.
Hanging out.
And as we see this much calmer shot of Arrow, along the bottom we see the words Elisurdren, hidden home of the elves. And Arrow, your best friend is approaching. Who, amongst the three of you, Kiana, Adam, and Jess, would like to be Arrow's best friend in this memory?
Her name's Willow.
I guess I can do it.
Okay. So Willow, you know that Arrow's been having kind of a hard time lately. It's just been a little distant, maybe, and like not scatterbrained, but antsy, right? Like he can't quite figure out what he's supposed to be doing, and you're seeing him in this more contemplative space, and maybe you're thinking that he's sort of calmed down and everything's okay now, but you haven't seen him yet today. This is your first meeting today.
Okay. And I assume Willow is also an elf?
Yes, everyone here is an
Everyone
elf.
here is an elf. This is if you'll remember last time that I was here, Arrow wrote a letter home to check in with Willow, who is also his like adopted sister.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. So Arrow is right here.
Mm-hmm. You've approached him. How do you check in on him?
Gonna slug him on the arm. Hey! Are you okay?
Hey. Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
You're gloomier than usual lately. What's up?
Nothing.
Right. Okay, so that's the first try. Really, tell me what's up. That's two. I think I've got to ask you another time before you'll say it. Come on, Arrow.
I'm, just have a lot on my mind lately.
Okay. Like what? Just one thing. Can you give me one thing?
I don't know, I've just still been thinking about leaving.
Right. That again. Okay.
Real quick interjection. Arrow doesn't go by Arrow, does he?
No,
I
he
forgot.
doesn't.
What's his name?
Yeah, what is his name?
Yeah, his name is Kosa.
Kosa? Okay.
Nice.
Retcon that she said Kosa.
That's a way cooler name. I'm just.
You gotta ditch it when you leave.
Okay, sorry. Pardon the interruption.
You're
No,
totally
that's
fine.
helpful. So, just out there by yourself, huh?
I mean, that would be the plan.
What do you figure you're gonna find if you go out there?
I'm not sure, and that's kind of the point.
Okay. Are you looking for something, or are you just getting bored here?
Are you saying you never get bored here?
Well, sure, but then we hang out and we find some way to get into trouble, and then it's fine. Why would you want to leave? What the heck am I gonna do when you're gone?
You'd be fine. You could come with me.
Honestly, I don't think I could. I mean, I don't know. Do you want me to go with you?
I mean, it would be nice not to be alone. But I know that you're a little bit more hooked on this place than I am.
Well, it's home, so yeah.
I would come back. Someday.
She slugs him on the arm again. You better. Don't make me come out there and find you.
I think at about this point, another elf approaches. Let me check my notes. Let me give you a name that's easy to pronounce instead of the disasters that most of my elf names are. Meldarian. There we go. Canon Adam, who would like to be Meldarian, the beast speaker? He's sort of like he's like a magic vet, basically.
That sounds fun. I'm into this.
All right, so Meldarian, you have Kosa's bird, Lake, because Lake was recently ill, but
Give me my bird.
you've managed to nurse her back to health, and you're looking around trying to find him, which is it's It's actually a good question. Summer, is finding Kosa usually easy or usually a pain in the ass?
It's usually a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Today it's happens to be easy.
So you come to the square and you're surprised to see Kosa, but along with Willow, so you know trouble isn't too far.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I'll approach them and be like, Kosa, Willow. I believe somebody's missed you. He'll just hold out his arm with bird in tow.
Yeah, this is like his, like, yes, Willow is his best friend. This is his real best friend. He loves his bird almost more than anything else.
Of course.
So he's definitely been down for that too. So he perks up a lot when he sees her, and he says, "Thank you so much. I don't know what she got herself into."
Oh, think nothing of it. She should be perfectly fine now. Just keep an extra eye on her.
I do my best. She's just a bit stubborn.
Lake meows.
Hey.
I wonder where she gets that from.
Yeah.
She sounds sick to me still.
Hawks aren't supposed to make
wrong
that
with her.
sound.
That's not right. Yeah, I think it's funny because I think stubborn is actually one of her. One of
So I
her
think she's
stuff,
not.
Yeah.
She's not hopping off of Meldarian's arm,
Good lord.
and she's like purposefully not looking at you.
Like
Looks like you made her
whistles,
mad.
snaps.
Now, don't be that way now. I know you're happy to see.
She turns very slowly toward you, Kosa.
You did this to yourself. You flew off.
She
You can't be
ruffles her
mad at me.
feathers.
He holds out his arm and just come on.
She'll turn her head and get a couple angles of it and then hop over.
I wonder where she gets that attitude from.
If you're suggesting that it's from me,
I wasn't suggesting. I was basically saying.
listen, she's always been this way.
Yeah, so few. We still love you, though.
Am I interrupting something?
No. Nothing really. She does look kind of pointedly at Kosa, though.
Let me ask you something. Meldarian, have you ever left?
In my thoughts, I have. But my roots have always been planted here, and never been able to stray too far from them.
I've been thinking it over for a while.
And where are your thoughts leading you?
I can't let it go, so. Don't be mad at me.
Who's mad?
You are, with that heavy sigh.
No, I'm not. She's mad.
A loud voice barks across the courtyard. Kosa, Willow. And you look up to see your mother, in her armor, striding toward you, briskly. Meldarian 2, good. One of the Bond's Magi is in the forest.
In the forest.
They're getting curious
When did that
again.
happen?
Scouts just reported back now.
Just mislead them the way that we always do.
Yeah, we just send them right back out, right?
That's why I'm here. I need the two of you. You know the forest better than anyone else. I trust you better than the rest of my men. Meldarian, I need you though. If things go south, if things go wrong, I need to
Say
know
no
that the
more.
hounds are ready.
Absolutely.
We'll go. We'll go immediately.
Right. You ready, Kosa?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Be careful, you two.
We'll be
have-
alright.
We have this
We're fine.
strange memory moment where, like, we see the world stretch out as you pass through the city in far too little time for it to be like real time memory. You're just seeing moments as you pass through the town. As you approach the gates, Kosa, you encounter Allie. And we see this elf with long flowing blonde hair, and she's waiting by the gates to the city. This it's this hewn stone structure that the trees have grown up around, and she's standing there waiting for you. Kosa, where are you going?
Apparently, there's a bonds magi in the forest, and Mother asked us to divert them.
She'll walk up and like hold on to your hand. She's like well into your personal space. And you're coming back, right?
Yes, I'm coming back.
She kisses you on the cheek and looks past your face toward Willow. You watch out for him.
Always do.
You make me worry, Kosa.
He makes us all worry. You know that.
Right. She'll squeeze your hand and step back. And we get that same series of snapshots as you're moving through this forest. That Gregor, as you're experiencing this memory, you recognize this forest. You've been here. You got lost here once. And Kiana, you are a bonds mage. You've had a hunch that there's something going on with Elisurdran. It's the ancestral home of the elves in this region. You know that they used to have a city here, and then something happened during the Reformation, and it just disappeared. No one's found the ruins, nothing. But you uncovered an old book at White Spire Academy with a map that showed the location of Elisurdran. So you are looking for this city. First, what's your bonds mage like? And then, how are you going about this search?
She's pretty young, as a bond magi. This is kind of, she'd been put on some tasks, but most of them have been pretty menial and such, and so she kind of thinks that this is her chance to. So I'm ready to have the big jobs. Like, cool. Like, look at me doing going on. I have initiative, and
Yeah.
so she is a bit of inexperienced. So she kind of marched into the forest, and I kind of realized, okay, maybe this wasn't the best way to go about this. And this now is just kind of, just poking around, seeing if there's anything unusual. Whether that's like magic that popped up or like amount of traffic.
Yeah. So you're on. You've left the road, I think, because you know the road doesn't run through any lost city because people travel it all the time. Is your character a human or an elf or a dwarf or what?
Human.
Okay. So let me get you a name real quick. Oh, come on, roll 20. There we go. And Hildegard. What a great name. Hildy for short. So you're walking off the beaten path, and Kosa and Willow, you see this young woman. She's not wearing the apprentice's robes, so the road to White Spire Academy runs straight through the forest. So you've encountered Bonds Magi before, but typically they stick to the path. You know from her robes that she's not an apprentice; she is a fully fledged Bonds Mage, and Bonds Magi are very powerful. They have effectively world-shaping magic, so they are not a thing to be taken lightly. And as you perch in the branches of these trees, you see her walking through with sort of a glowing shape over one palm. What do you do?
We're probably staying. We know these woods super well, very well hidden, just out of earshot, eyesight. Seeing that she's human, I doubt that Arrow would be as worried as if it were, an elf. They tend to be not as observant. And he would look over to Willow. What do we do?
Send her on her way. Point her down the wrong path.
We could probably knock her off course a bit.
Seems about right. Shouldn't take much.
Just something interesting to follow.
We see
okay.
we see time slow down a little bit as this part of your memory is quite sharp for you, Arrow. Something startles Lake, and she cries out. And Hildegard, you look up to follow the sound, and you see two elves with their bows on the branch of a tree. And Kosa, you see that you've been made. What do the three of you do?
Shoot.
Seems about right.
And Hildegard, what do you do as you see this like confirmation of, oh yes, there are elves here?
Fascinating.
How old do they look?
Arrow looks maybe 20 to
Yeah.
you. I mean,
I would assume Willow
To a
is close
human.
to Arrow.
yeah, like
age.
18, 17, 18, yeah.
So you see
No time to wave.
you see the Bonds Mage like lower their hand, like the glistening diagram over that hand begin to fade as they let the spell go and begin to wave, and then thunk, two arrows sprout from her chest. Lake flies off into the air at the sudden burst of movement, and as we watch Hildegard's body fall slowly toward the ground, that same rushing sound comes back, and the four of you suck back into your bodies the roaring sound of the storm around you. We are at the top of an hour, so we're going to go to our first break. Real quick, I want to say a huge thanks to Katie for the raid. Thank you so much. You are fantastic. I appreciate you.
What a gem.
We are going to step away for a couple minutes, get some yayas out, get some water, and when we come back, we will dive straight back into this high drama. So, see you soon. Hello, and welcome back to episode 9 of From Dust. As we come back from our commercial break, Farron, you stagger backwards into the door, gasping for air, as you swear you just had 2 arrows in your lungs a moment ago. What do you do?
I kind of, put a hand up to closest wall and just kind of.
Helga looks around, sort of confused, and walks, like steps over to you. Are you all right?
Oh, yes, just that was a weird experience. Oh, so that's what it's like to be shot. All right.
What happened to all of you? She looks around, and you can see like the last motes of this bluish, greenish energy fading into the ethers. The no stone is depleted, and Arrow, I assume your ring finishes consuming it. So you can have 1 XP, Arrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everybody else gets 7.
Whoa!
Fine. I guess
Right,
I got full power.
Look at my, what does it look like from the outside, my dear?
You look fine, but that thing, it rang out. It was a burst of light. The 4 of you looked like you were in a stupor for a second, 2.
Yes, that tends to happen when someone is playing with something they shouldn't. And that's a very pointed look at Arrow. How are you doing, Gregor?
We need to work on your diplomacy, clearly. Like, this is a habit I see.
Yeah,
Hey.
Farron definitely raised an eyebrow at that. Right. Okay.
Well, that was enlightening.
I didn't know that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you know, and maybe we shouldn't do that again.
It was stuck in my hand.
Stuck.
I picked it up and I couldn't put it down.
Perhaps you should refrain from picking them up from now on.
I was just trying to move it. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, done's done. I expect we've learned a thing or two, one way or another. We're all in one piece, right?
Eh.
Farron, are you alright?
Yes. Yeah, perfectly fine.
Arrow, when you blink, you hear the sound of something like glass breaking, and you like startle. And you blink a couple more times, and you don't hear it again. But everything looks the same in a sense, but there's like a slight ghost to everything, right? Like you're getting too long of an exposure, almost. Things are a little smeary.
Do you all see that?
What?
The drag. The blur.
Did we?
What?
No. And looking at Arrow, you see that his left eye has sort of a crack running through it, and to one side, it's bright blue.
He's just
Almost
gonna
glowing.
reach out and grab Arrow by the chin and pull him closer to get a look.
What? What in the world?
What?
This way and that.
Do you wanna try and understand what's going on?
Sure.
That sounds like a move to me.
How do I make a what the fuck is this move?
I think that's called spout lore. Right? Is that
Or discern realities?
could be discern realities. So either when you're consulting your accumulated knowledge about something, or when you're closely studying a situation or person. I feel like you're doing both. So whichever.
It's like kind of both.
Do you want to roll plus int or roll plus whiz?
You know what? I'm gonna roll plus whiz because that's the better stat.
Okay.
Not that it matters for me. Oh, well.
um,
This story knows things.
well, you get to ask 3 questions off of the list,
Okay.
and I am required to give you useful answers.
Cool. I don't know if these questions really. These are so weird. Man, none of these feel helpful. Honestly.
I mean, what happened here recently could tell you maybe what's going on.
But we kind of know that. I
But-
feel like.
Yeah. What should I be on the lookout for is a good catch-all of, like, what am I missing?
Yeah.
I mean, what happened here recently could give you more about like what happened with his eye versus like what actually just happened.
Yeah.
I am required to answer.
Dylan is required to be useful.
Yeah, I'm required to be useful, but specifically I have to be honest. And honesty
Sure.
is a defined thing in Dungeon World, which means I can't be coy about it. I have
Sure.
to like actually answer the intent of your question instead
Alright.
of being all fucky about it.
All right. Well. What here is not what it appears to be.
What here is not what it appears to be. Ooh. Okay. So as you closely examine his eye, right, you like pull his face close and get a good look, you see that in the side that's turned blue, there are like multiple pupils, like it's fractaling, like it's the fractal of an eye
Cool.
on that side of his eye. And it is not just an eye anymore. There's an enchantment here that isn't like it's not a spell has been cast. It's now like physically part of his eye has become magical.
Interesting. All right, what happened here recently? I guess we'll dig into that a little more.
So you've always known that no stones contain power in a sort of nebulous sense. But I think everybody sort of assumes that power is in the form of knowledge, right? Knowledge is power. And certainly they contain that. And you're feeling it as you feel more confident in your abilities. You've got basically a level of XP. So you're experiencing that, but what you're noticing here is that the magic of the artifact itself, as it released in Arrow's hand, changed him significantly. And you're like thinking back to accounts you've heard of people who like aren't mages, right? Who aren't like you or Farron in that they were born with magical power, but where somehow they discovered great power, and this you're beginning to understand is how that happens to people.
Sure. No stones wake it up.
Yeah, well,
or
they don't
impart it.
yeah, they impart it, and that's what's happened. Is this thing has changed, like gone into the code of Arrow and said, actually, you're this.
Actually, you have magic now. Congratulations.
And Arrow is now able to see sort of the flow of fate around people and manipulate it.
Oh boy, that seems perfectly safe.
Giving this to Summer was a great idea.
I love it. But I can only do it for a person once, so once ever. I gotta pick my moments.
Wow.
Gosh, and now I'm... Okay, there are two potential questions.
Mm-hmm.
Could either go, what is about to happen, or who's really in control here? Who's
who's really in control here? I think.
There is an Eldrin that you're not quite sure how you know this. Probably still like bleed from the memories you were just in. But you know the name of the Eldrin that you saw in that first memory. And their name is Ilmogara. I will type that in the Roll20 chat, so you don't have to try and spell it. She, you don't know much about her, you can't quite glean that, but you know that she did see you in that moment. Somehow she saw across time to know that you were experiencing this moment. And, there is, like, the Eldrin are believed to be long dead and long gone. That's even what Asylum said, is that all that's left are spirits that are dissipating and decrepit and only exist in sort of the dark recesses of the planes. But you have a sudden chilling sensation that maybe that's not as true as you thought.
Okay. That's a lot of lore to try and dump on this group. Let's see.
Feel free to dump as much as or as little as you want.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Reddit.com/r/
TLDR, you have a magic eyeball. It's like a magic 8-ball, only you can't hold it in your hand.
And I can't shake it until I get the answer I want.
I mean, you could.
You could, but that would suck.
That's how you manipulate time, is you wiggle your head around.
Yeah.
That would look delightful. And be really weird.
No, somebody else has to shake my head for me for it to work.
Give me the answer.
Change my fate.
It's like the shake to do whatever feature on your smartphone that, I don't know, does anybody
Shake
use
to
that?
undo.
Nope.
Yes. Shake to undo. You never done
Oh my
that?
god.
No.
It's when you're mad texting and you're like, keep going.
Summer has a lot of experience with this, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
okay.
It's second nature now.
Okay, so I did give this to the right person.
Yeah. I'm gonna shake the past until it gives me what I want.
Oh god. What have we done? Okay.
I wish I could go really far back in time now. Oh well.
Alas.
So, what this looks like while Vori is apparently learning all of this information is him being uncomfortably close to Arrow so he can get a good look at his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we the
Close enough
two.
to smell.
I mean,
I mean,
so we see the
if
two of
Arrow
you
wants to.
incredibly
Whoops, I
close in the rain. I'm just saying.
It's romantic.
It's definitely the cinematography here is definitely hamming up the tension.
Oh yeah, yes.
Arrow's just like, what?
Congratulations, you have magic. We'll clap him lightly on the cheek and step back.
What do you mean?
A little present from the Eldrin, apparently. Tends
How
to
do you
happen
know
if
that?
you. He gives Gregor this look like, hello? Magic?
Like, what kind of magic?
Powerful magic. I think that's all you really need to know right now.
Helga looks very nervous.
Oh, don't worry. He's not going to be throwing fire around or conjuring butterflies or anything. That's already covered.
Excuse me?
A little joke, dear. Don't worry about it. In any case, No stones have a tendency to do that. That's why
Alright.
it's best if you don't play with them.
I wasn't playing with it.
Hey, it's raining. How about we continue this conversation at the tavern?
I don't
Yes,
mind
that's
the rain.
actually a delightful idea because I hate the rain.
You would.
Of course I would. Come on, Magic Eye, let's go inside.
Magic eye or magic guy?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. Yeah, I look over at Helga.
Okay, breathe.
I had a mouthful of tea.
Sorry.
Would have been bad.
Before you leave, Farron, Helga will talk to you for a second.
Yeah, I was going to want to talk to her before.
Whatever just happened? I hope you're okay.
I should be fine. It was just a strange experience. I'm perfectly fine, as you can see.
She looks up at the other three, I think as y'all are getting ready to head back to the tavern. Are you going with them?
I mean, that's where we told the lovely lady inside where we'd be, but I will walk you back to your place if that's what you would prefer.
Could you roll for me? Plus charisma.
Just charisma?
Yeah.
Okay. A 10.
She you see some of the tension drain from her shoulders. I think that would be nice. Yes. Thank you.
I'm sorry if I concerned you. Really, goodness, once. I'm sure I've kind of thrown your life upside down since we met, but
Just a little.
kind of offers out their arm.
She'll take it. And I think we can move on to when Farron comes in the door of the tilted turn. Are y'all in the common area, or are you going to be upstairs?
I feel like maybe
Might want to keep our conversations private.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was
Also, is
thinking.
Eros-
Drinks to go.
yeah, is drinks to go.
Room service.
Put that in a covered
To-
cup, please.
to go,
A covered
yeah.
tankard.
Could I just take a bottle of wine? No need
Do
to
you
open
have-
it here.
Does this come in like a yardstick, or...
And just take a bottle, all of us upstairs, and go to the same room. I'm sure they're just gonna be like,
Okay.
"Have fun, you crazy kids."
Bring another up in an hour.
Two Rivers, basically Vegas.
Oh God! So Bori basically grew up in Vegas. That explains so much.
Alright, so y'all are upstairs.
Yeah, we'll go
so
upstairs.
then I think we come in on Farron coming through the door to whichever of the two rooms you're in. What do you do?
Probably Arrow and Bori's room, since two out of two occupants are here.
Yeah.
Vori has probably been in the midst of trying to figure out a way to fashion something to cover that eye of Arrow's when they're in public.
Cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-uh.
So, the unfortunate truth is that Arrow's probably fine. Like, people looking weird is okay. It's casting spells, specifically,
Mm.
It's when you show that you are a person that was born with magic that the Bones Magi get involved.
Neat.
Arrow would also be very against the idea of covering one of his eyes because he can't shoot as well with only one eye.
You probably tried at least once, and that turned into a very brief argument.
He's been trying to practice shooting with one eye, and it's okay. You know, he can like hit generally in the same area, but depth perception's a lot harder.
Yeah.
All right,
you guys
fine,
hear-
fine, you win. Leave it as is.
Yes, you
Knock
guys
at the
here.
door.
Come in.
The door's open.
Farron just kind of pokes head in, completely drenched.
Well,
Took
you
you a
look the
while.
sight.
Well, just had a nice chat, that's all. That's everything alright? You guys been figuring things out, I assume.
More or less.
Eh.
Or he just kind
Answers.
of tosses the scrap cloth away. Like nothing happened.
Things are blurry, but fine.
That sounds like a normal state of affairs with us.
This is weird. Gregor says as he's like eating a leg of lamb, like sitting on like Arrow's bed.
Did he just bring a platter of like meat up to the room?
His basically unused bed.
This body requires protein, alright?
Or he probably stole a bowl of fruit or something from down below and just took it with him.
Listen, I am sorry about today.
Good. Well, problem solved. You apologize, that's nice. Is there anything else we need to stick around here for? I am really ready to leave this place.
Did you all hear the bells this morning? Or was that yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
It means that someone was killed or something has gone wrong. It's not anything I think we should get involved in.
It's just interesting.
It's a thing the church does. As
The
for me,
church.
I mostly try to stay away from things the church does these days. I think you know that by now.
So you think it has nothing to do with you then?
Let me rephrase. I don't want it to have anything to do with me.
It happened the night that we left there.
So,
Whatever it was. Well, I'm just thinking maybe we should at least stop by.
Arrow, you will recall that the no stone during your visit at the church was dormant.
It only activated after.
what do you all want to do?
Well, we have to stick. I would like to stick around town long enough to hear back from the Duchy situation. Resolve that, because I'd rather not just up and disappear and, well, have an interesting legacy in this city.
I hope for all the trouble if you manage to get to play, they'll at least pay you.
I would imagine so, quite a bit. Courts tend to pay well.
Really? He's like, huh. Now that I think about it, I don't have a job.
This might be worth sticking around for after all.
Yeah, it's like, all right. I have nothing. I am basically just a transient. Should think about work.
We're freelancers.
Yeah, that's it.
One more day couldn't kill us.
All right.
Oh, food's good.
I am eager to be out of the city, though.
So where after this?
That is a very good question. Let me just consult my notes.
A thing that's potentially on your mind is the city that you saw in Arrow's memory, knowing as you do that it's supposed to not exist.
And was it all of us that knew that there was some weird necromancy shit happening in the forest?
Right.
I think we maybe had a sort of plan to go there eventually.
Yeah.
Kind of relevant now.
Yeah. Arrow, your home, I think I recall some conversation about it being among woods where there was some real strange occurrences happening of magic and Walking Dead.
It's not my home.
Whatever location it was that you came from at one point and at least had called home for most of your life.
Getting
That place?
semantic.
You know, there are better ways and times to be persnickety about things, Arrow.
I'm not taking you all there.
Then I guess we just try to find it ourselves. And you
You
can follow
couldn't.
along.
If you want to end up dead, then be my guest.
Listen, guys, it's been a long day. Clearly, we're all a little tired, a little worn out. How about we crash for the night? Tackle this tomorrow with fresh perspective and vigor.
How late is it?
Gosh, I don't remember what time the competition was.
It feels
so
late.
for the sake of convenience, let's say it's the evening.
I might go for a walk.
Are you going to come back from your walk?
Eventually.
Ugh.
We can decide what to do tomorrow or the next day.
Fine. Fine. As long as whatever we do involves leaving this place. I don't really care.
Yeah, I think Arrow gets up to leave the room. But before he does, he turns back. It's very important that none of you talk about what you saw.
Of course.
All right.
Why would we?
There are people who would... Well, who would pay a lot for that information. And you've seen the lengths that we've gone to keep it a secret.
Not enough money in the world to get me involved in that kind of trouble.
He just nods and turns and leaves the room.
All right. Moody boy being moody. That's the name of this show, is Moody
I
Boys.
think we're all a little moody tonight.
Hello and welcome to Moody Boys.
Quattro Moody Boys.
All right. So, Arrow, where are you going?
Church
for your
time.
walk? Oh,
Christ.
God. Okay. Oh, this is perfect.
Or he's
Gregor.
like, don't get involved in the church. And Arrow's like, but I'm gonna.
But I'm gonna.
But I want to go look. Especially now that you told me
But
not
I
to.
wanna.
I
Oh
wanna.
my God. Arrow is just summer.
Here
Or
I
he's just going
go.
to throw himself off the pier before they leave, I swear to God.
Bye.
Gregor, what are you going to be doing in this time? Are you just gonna go crash out? Gregor?
Yeah, Gregor's probably just gonna crash.
Okay.
Oh, sleep with that lamb in your mouth.
Gonna have like a mug in one hand and happy.
He's just going to be sprawled out on Arrow's bed.
Forrest's like,
He
okay.
doesn't use it. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's not
Or it's
using.
basically like, at least that bed we paid for is getting used now.
Yeah.
Farron, what about you? What are you doing with your evening?
Farron sees Cracker Patch down. It's like, there's a part of them that wants to talk. Then it's just like, oh no, she's just probably just asleep. And it's also too much of a bother to wake him up again. And it's, trying to carry him out of it is out of the fucking question.
Yeah.
None of us are strong enough to do that, not even together.
Yeah. So Farron just kind of looks at.
You all somehow end up pinned under Gregor.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Our luck, we just end up pinned under Gregor in the middle of the hallway.
It's that scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They try to move, or Jake tries to move the Sarge and just ends up stuck there.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is our life now.
Yeah. So they kind of sigh and like, Roy might have noticed that like, Farron just keeps kind of rubbing against their chest at times. Before they're like, what, I think I should probably sleep. Just rest up after today. It's been eventful.
You sure you're all right?
Yeah, I'm quite all right, thank you.
After that?
Oh, yeah, I should be plenty fine. Just need to get.
He gets up from where he's sitting and just walks over and puts an arm around them. Listen, those weren't your memories. They belong to someone else. Felt pretty real, but it's not. Not for you.
No, but it's quite a memory to have, to know what it feels like to be shot quite expertly by someone you're traveling with.
Well, try not to hold it against Darrow.
I know. It's just something I have to get over, that's all.
All right. Well, maybe take a stiff drink before you go to bed.
You don't have to tell me.
Should have thought so. All right, good night. I'll pat them on the back and kind of nudge them out of the room in the process.
Yeah.
Get out of my room.
Good night.
Yeah.
Please go.
Clam.
Yeah, Farron's just like, thank you. Good night.
Of course, I'll look after your Gregor.
Have you seen my Gregor?
Don't worry, I'll
Farron-
protect your husband. What?
If
Farron
Ross
doesn't
returned
even
to
think
Farron,
twice.
I'm Farron.
Yeah, Farron doesn't even think twice about, the term of, like, Mike. He's like, okay. Goes down to get a drink. Then goes to bed.
Yeah, I think as our camera goes out the window of your room, we hear the voice of Skull Crusher go, Gregor, Gregor, I need to speak with you. Gregor, this is important. What are you doing? Gregor? It like
Where is
fades
this
out
fucking
as
hammer?
as we head out. And Arrow, you are arriving at the Church of the Reformation, and you see that there are many more guards here than there were 2 days ago. There are 4 guards just outside the door, and you notice that there are guards posted all around the sort of square as well. What do you do?
So sneaking in's not an option, probably. With this many guards.
You could try.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up to the front, to the guards that are posted out front,
Okay.
and just attempt to walk in.
One of them will step in front of you. I'm sorry, but no weapons inside.
That's fine.
You
Can
understand?
you hold these?
He looks at the other 3, and they'll sort of like look at each other and nod, and they'll draw their weapons and like stand back just a little bit, just in case, and he'll like start taking your weapons from you.
All my 10,000 weapons that I have.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that I just have hidden knives.
Yeah, so there's like your short sword and your bow and all of your arrows, and then some knives from various parts of your clothing.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that-
not trying to hide anything.
Is that everything? Then?
Well, yes. I mean, yeah.
Oh, all right. Bergren.
I'll be back.
Bergren, walk with him. Just make sure he finds whatever he's looking for. And one of the guards will nod and sheath her sword and step up to follow you.
Yeah. I just want to go inside and see what's going on.
Okay. Much like the last time you were here, there's that cloying smoke of incense.
Mm-hmm.
The many pews, though there are fewer people here than you saw before.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly fewer people, like fewer priests just sort of walking about. It's much more like the people that are here are the people that are always here. And other than that, it's a ghost town.
Yeah, I look at the guard as we're walking in. So what happened?
You haven't heard?
No, I've been outside the city.
One of the bishops shot dead. Right here in the church.
Which one?
Cavendish, I think.
That's unfortunate. Do they know who did it?
No, they're looking for someone. They didn't tell me much because I'm just here to keep
I
an eye on
understand.
things. But
Well, who's in charge now?
just a moment. While I get you a name. Archbishop Adenauer has taken over.
Can I see them?
You'd have to ask the holy people. I'm just here to keep the peace.
Yeah, he'll walk over to whoever he can find
Mm-hmm.
and ask to see Bishop Adenauer.
You recognize this person. This is the person that you asked when you wanted to speak with the bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at you sort of suspiciously. What for?
Cavendish assigned me a task. and I wanted some clarification.
Did he know?
He did.
I'm going to need you to do your favorite thing and roll some dice. You were defying danger with charm and social grace, which is the thing that Arrow is very good at.
I have a lot of it.
So the danger here is they already suspect you were involved in Cavendish's killing, and this is going to
Okay.
confirm it for them.
Okay. Well, I'm really bad at this, so okay, here we go.
Good luck.
I got a 7.
Okay.
I didn't fail.
So, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. I'm giving you. I don't know what of those three I'm giving you, but I know what's happening.
Okay.
You realize what's happening. You realize that why she's being so caged. With you, and you know the danger that you're in, but
Right.
you're not in deep enough that you can't walk out of here. But pushing is going to be stepping past that line.
Okay.
What do you do?
Can I see anything with my cool new eye? Because I'm assuming things are blurring in this like vague way of like it's kind of almost splitting down multiple paths, but not really because nothing's interfered.
Yeah. Things are pretty much in sync at the moment. You've noticed a couple times, like when Farron was talking with Helga before you left, there was a moment where things diverged wildly. But at the moment, things are pretty much in sync. Although I suppose you could change your own fate on that roll.
I'm not
But it
going
would
to.
be the one time ever.
Yeah. No. He nods.
Give me a moment. I'll go get him. She's going to step away into one of the side halls. Presumably not to get the Archbishop. But who knows?
Okay. Yeah. Shit. Well, I don't want to just leave. That's fine. Just arrest me. I'm just gonna stay.
You're gonna stay?
Yeah. I'm innocent.
As you as this priest walks back in, she's accompanied by several paladins, and you have this moment where you like recognize the armor.
Yeah.
And as they step in with their hands on their swords, and she points to you, we cut over to our break, actually, because we're at the top of an hour. So,
Take me in.
we're going to step away for a little bit, and when we return, we're going to find out what's about to happen to Vori. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back to From Dust. I'm having some audio problems, so please let me know in chat if the sound is wrong. Okay, alright.
Crossed.
Yes, sounds good. Good. Meanwhile, back at the tilted turn. Vori, what are you doing? Are you trying to get some sleep, or?
Heck no.
Okay.
Fuck that. Nothing good has come of trying to sleep.
All right.
Now, he probably went to take a walk if it's not pouring. Is it still pouring?
It's still raining pretty heavily. Yeah.
Cool, then he's gonna hang out in the bar and be mad that it's raining.
Okay. So you're sitting at a table or at the bar?
Probably at the bar if he's by himself and the others are gone or asleep or whatever.
You're sitting there and you hear the door open and the room goes quiet. And if you look over, you see a retinue of paladins. 4 of them have just walked into the room. And the one at the lead, who is a young man, probably in like his late 20s, that you don't recognize, but you can tell enough from his uniform and whatnot that he's the person in charge of this particular group.
Sure.
He walks up to the bar and flags down Lathron, the barkeep. Legata, Marcus Gartner. Sir, I am looking for an individual I was told is staying here. Oh. Well, I hope there's nothing wrong. Not yet. Looking for a man named Vori. Vorial.
He's just drinking quietly and not budging.
Lathron looks nervously at you. And you're just sitting there calmly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to defy danger.
Sure.
The danger here is you're gonna not necessarily, you're either gonna give yourself away, or you're like, Lathron isn't gonna trust you enough to stick his neck out.
Sure. Defy danger with what?
With it's your call. How are you?
I would say probably charisma, because he's like keeping his cool, or at least making the appearance of doing so, regardless of how he may actually feel.
It could also be mental fortitude, which would be wisdom.
Either one.
Like just
Same stat.
keeping your cool. Because you're not really using charm and social grace, right?
Not yet.
Not yet, right? So go ahead and roll plus wisdom then.
All right.
A 10. You keep your cool. Oh. Yes. Him. I believe he's upstairs in his room at the moment. And he'll give them your room number.
Oh crap.
Thank you very much
Good luck, Gregor.
for your cooperation. And he'll place a coin on the bar. Gartner Company, on me. He walks to the door. You see the 3 paladins form up behind him, and he heads up the stairs. What do you do?
I'm gonna look to the barkeep. What do you suppose that's about?
I don't want to know.
Fair enough. Thank you, by the way.
You should leave.
Yes, I think I'll do just that. He'll put a couple extra coins on the counter. And,
Much appreciated.
right. Pardon me. take one last swig of what's left in the thing he was drinking and out the door.
Actually, I'm gonna retcon real quick. There were only 3 paladins. There was the Legata and then 2 following him.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna walk out and probably go around the side under
Yeah.
his window if he can.
Yeah. You see a paladin there, who's just
Neat.
sort of hanging out, eyeing the side of the building, like looking at the windows. And then you hear a heavy. And Gregor, you wake up as someone is pounding on your door.
All right, yeesh. Go over and open the door, rubbing his eyes.
And you like rub your eyes, and as your hand falls away, you see 3 figures in heavy plate armor, wielding weapons. What do you do?
Hello.
Okay, so if you pause, you don't spring to action. They'll push in to the room, and they'll begin pushing you toward one of the beds and like grabbing onto your arms. I am Legata Marcus Gardner.
That's great.
Of
I
the
think
Green
we have a
Hands.
misunderstanding here.
You will answer my questions as I ask them of you. Is this understood?
Yeah.
You're pushed down with one arm twisted up in your back against the bed.
I'm not resisting, all right?
What is your name?
Rhaegar Whitbread.
The other man who is staying here. Vorial. Where is he?
Oh gosh, he could be anywhere right now.
You see the other 2 paladins, like from where you're pressed into this bed, you can see them checking the room and like opening drawers. One of them goes to the window and leans out, and Vori, you see this. They lean out and look down to the paladin on the street and like give them a hand signal, like everything's okay. And then go back inside. You have no idea where he could have gone?
I didn't mention nothing.
What is your association with Vorial?
We've just been traveling together, nothing formal.
Have you? Beatrix, the shackles, please. And you hear the jingle of chains. And
Come on, guys, is this really necessary?
if you don't want to be pressed into this bed.
Okay.
You feel the cold bite of iron as they clasp around your wrists. And you're hauled back up and pushed so that you're sitting on the bed now instead of pressed into it. Where were you 2 nights ago?
I think I was here, drinking. I've been doing that a lot lately.
Have you? Why?
Oh, just, it's a tavern. Eat, drink, be merry.
What's Gregor's intent with his responses to these questions?
To waste time.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna need you to roll Defy Danger. And this sounds to me like you're using Charm and Social Grace.
Sure. At least Gregor's version of it.
Yeah. We've established he's a charming dude.
That seems appropriate. That seems right.
You stumble, hesitate, or flinch. Worst outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. You're not going to be able to buy much more time with this course of action. You can tell that the Legata's patience is wearing out, and he's a very short time from just hauling you in. So if you want to waste time, you're gonna have to come up with something a little more, or a little different.
Gregor will just sigh and be like, "What'd he do?"
You haven't heard. Bishop Cavendish is dead. L'Oreal is wanted in suspicion of committing the murder.
Oh, the bishop.
Along with his companion, there was an archer. Do you know this person?
Yeah, I'm not gonna know where they are either. They both kind of have a habit of going off on their own.
Do they? Legata. Look at this. He'll pull out the like handbill, the bit of news that Arrow stole from the hawker when you first got here. And shows it to the Legata. Do you know why they might have been keeping this information? And he'll hold up the news to you.
Gregor's gonna genuinely say, no.
Very well. We'll have to keep an eye on you for a time. Please stand up. Because I wanted it. I mean, I know that, Summer.
Literally, why do we do it?
Why do we do anything? Because we want to. Because I feel like it.
I think, Farron, you probably wake up, because you're in the adjoining room. You wake up as Gregor is being marched down the hallway.
Oh boy.
Have fun, friends.
I wait.
Yeah, Rory's not sticking around to hear the rest of this. The moment they were in the room, he would have
bailed?
continued on like he was going for a walk.
Okay.
Yeah, so the sound of, much, probably the shouting and then the...
Yeah. You
I
probably
feel like-
woke up to, like, the shouting and then, like, look out your door to see these three paladins marching with Gregor in the middle.
Gregor's like trying his hardest to not even acknowledge Farron, hoping that they'll keep out of this. Only one person gets hauled off.
Farron definitely, narrows their eyes when they see, they see that Gregor's not even, it's like... just...
Gregor? Gregor, where are you going?
We established I can think too, Skullbreaker, right? Just going on a little field trip. Hey, listen, after I'm gone, talk to Farron, alright?
Why have you not destroyed these fools? You can easily take the three of them. There's only
I
three.
could,
It's not even
but
fair.
But then there'd be more, a lot more. And I'm trying not to make this any worse than it is.
That is an opportunity for practice. If
We'll
you do not
practice
use
later,
your skills, they will
Skullbreaker.
grow rusty.
We'll continue this conversation later, alright? Anyway, quiet now, Farron after.
So, Farron, do you do anything as he walks past?
Gregor is very clearly trying to do the... So Farron's just like... just quickly goes back to the room, starts getting dressed as quickly as they can.
As you do that, like when you start pulling your boots on, you hear a voice. Farron? Hello.
Oh, it's Bonebreaker.
Skullbreaker.
Right. What do you want? I'm kind of busy right now, and I can't have any time to chat as much as I'd not like to.
Something has happened to my disciple.
When
Come.
did he become your disciple?
He has always been my disciple.
You have always been his hammer. You know, a tool. In all senses of the word.
I reject your characterization. Come.
And substitute it with your own.
Pick me up. We must go and liberate him from these self-made bonds.
You realize that I'm not really one for...
I will make you into what you must be, Theron.
I could also just leave you here. That is very much a possibility.
Theron, we must show Gregor that no cage can hold him. You and I, we can do this. I see it within you, that glimmer of potential.
Look, I know flattery and sweet talking when I see it. So let's just keep everything straightforward.
Theron, if you don't help Gregor, they might just kill him.
Yes, I'm very much aware of that fact. Thank you. And Fern will just open up the linen closet. This Skullbreaker has been trapped in.
Hello?
I really have to wonder what happened with, like, if the maid or somebody
I'm
opened
sure,
that.
I'm sure they just looked at it and just like,
They
you know
just
what?
like looked at the hammer, maybe reached for it, and then heard, "Do not touch me, peasant!"
Oh God.
They bought it for the rats.
Yeah, Fern will just kind of grab Skullbreaker.
Yes. Yes. I can tell this is your first step on a long path
I do
of
not.
strength and victory.
I have my own path, thank you very much. Now, let's just get going before things get terrible.
And you're gonna head out?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait, like, a beat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm not immediately tailing. But not that I haven't lost sight of them. And, like, I kind of know where the prison is. Like, that's the, and, like, all that stuff, because we've already had to deal with this.
Yeah. Vori, where are you going?
Honestly, he's gonna try to leave town.
Okay. You acted quickly, so I think it's safe to say that you can get out of town without being stopped. It's
Okay.
it's a tense 20 minutes as you navigate the city and get out the gates, but as you step out into the wilderness, you feel that tension fade a little bit.
But Dylan, don't they close the gates at night?
I don't think it's night yet, though.
It's oh yeah, I guess it technically is, isn't it? Because people were going to bed. That's right. Shit. So as you round the corner to go to the gates, you feel the tension as you're like, I made it, and then you see the gates are closed.
That's alright, it's a big town. Find an alley to crouch down in and figure shit out.
Okay.
Wait till morning.
So we're just gonna go wait things out.
Mhm.
All right.
He's not gonna get involved in that bullshit. What's he gonna do to help?
I don't know. What was the new move that you picked when you leveled up?
Ogre's Jihad, so he can do ritual, but he's not gonna do that in the middle of town either, because that's fucking stupid.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Come blast me out of jail.
No.
Just use your fire a little bit.
So we see Vori hunker down into an alleyway, and we're gonna cut over to Arrow. Arrow, you're in prison. You are in a cell, stone walls, iron bars, the smells of desperation and decay, and you hear a door open and the heavy footfalls of armored soldiers, and you see Gregor get brought into the cell block, and put in the cell across from yours.
Doesn't say anything to acknowledge that he would know Gregor. But Gregor would see that Arrow looks the most anxious you've ever seen him. Like it's very well known by all of you that he doesn't generally like being inside anyway, but being in such a small space, like claustrophobia is kicking in for this kid.
Ooh, okay.
Legata Gartner will unlock the shackles from your wrists, Gregor. When the time comes, someone will be down here to ask you some questions. Cooperate, and I'm sure this will be a short stay.
I'll be here.
He'll step out and look suspiciously at you for a moment, Arrow. These are the same paladins that brought you in. And they lock Gregor's door and walk out.
So now it's just the two of us?
Mm-hmm. It's just the two of you, well, and whoever else happens to be in the cells down that you can't see.
Okay. Yeah, Arrow would just kind of look at Gregor and just shake his head a little bit.
Gregor's just gonna rub the bridge of his nose. You know, I tried to keep you from getting in here. You did a great job streamlining that.
Why are you here?
I came looking for Vori. I was trying to buy some time.
They don't have any reason to arrest you.
I'm sort of an accomplice or something. I think they're deciding that right now.
Yeah. I went to the church. I didn't know what had happened, but found out, and since Vori and I were the last two that saw the bishop alive, and then I came back.
Oh, gosh. Nothing... I don't want to jump to that, but nothing happened with Vori and the bishop, right?
No, I mean, it was uncomfortable to be sure, but... No.
Okay. You have any idea who might have actually done the...
I don't. I've been trying to think about it, but he didn't even say anything that made it seem like anybody would be after him, but... Vori might have a better idea than I do.
Yeah, he'd be enlightening right now, but he should stay low right now.
I'm sure he's gone.
Hopefully... Well, it might let me out on good behavior, but you're number one suspect right now.
Yeah, it's alright. I didn't do it, so...
Yeah, but... How do we know they're not going to misconstrue this somehow?
We don't. They might try.
I could get you out of here right now.
How would you do that?
I'm strong.
Listen, I appreciate the sentiment, but it just makes me look guilty if I run.
That's true. I think Farron's fine. They didn't mention anything about him.
Good. At least one of us is safe.
I want to cut at that point to Farron, who is standing outside in the rain in front of the constabulary with this hammer. All right, now remember, keep your feet wide, walk straight in. When you see someone swing, when you see someone else swing, it'll all be over before you know it.
I'm not going to hit anybody unless I can talk to them first. Besides,
If you talk to them, you give them a chance to know that you're
Don't-
going to hit them.
I'm not. How much do you know about how I do things here, Skullbreaker?
My impression so far has been that you do things ineffectually. I'm trying to help you.
Yes, oh, so helpful. Look, we're going to try it my way first. And then if you prove me wrong and things do go better, then maybe we'll consider your way. It's just, when we go your way first, it's pretty much impossible to do my way afterwards if your way ends up being wrong.
Well, my way is impossible if you are captured or killed, so
I
it
tend
goes
to have
both
a way.
ways.
I tend to have a way of talking around things. It's fine.
Very well. You go inside and you talk, and when they stab you, all you have to do is survive long enough to get me to Gregor. Understood? Just
Right.
hold on to those last dregs of life. All will be well.
Sure they will. Right. I just kind of look at
Skullbreaker seems
Skullbreaker.
satisfied.
Yeah, I just can hear the smug. Like, and I'm like, and I'm very prepared that if I need to, I might have to give up the weapon. So I just kind of walk up.
Okay, you walk in and you see a very tired guard who's at this desk. She looks up. Hello, how may I help you?
Pardon me for disturbing your evening. I believe that there was some kerfuffle and, well, there is somebody who is under my hire that has been drawn into this unfortunate circumstances. I only came aware of it when I woke up and he was gone, and, I'd rather have my protection around me rather than, well, here under some possibly unfortunate false circumstances.
Could you speak a little bit more clearly?
Do you mean, less bubbly, or are you talking about...
fewer words? Just say what you mean.
I believe I have somebody who I have hired out as protection, possibly brought under here, and unfortunately, perhaps false or misconstrued circumstances. I would like to possibly see him.
Your bodyguard was arrested? Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Alright. She grabs a book, puts it on the desk, flips it over. What's his name?
Gregor Whitbread.
Gregor. I have a Gregory Whitebread.
The franchise really hard not to snort. Yes.
Right. It says here he was brought in for killing a bishop.
Killing. He's been... Other than this point, he's been by my side literally almost every moment, because that's what I hire him for.
And you are...
I am Farron Ovrier. You may have heard of the recent bardic contest that's been happening with the Duke. I've been a participant in that. It's why I'm here in town.
Okay. I think this is a move.
Yes, it feels like a move.
I think this is parlay, and I think the leverage is you're gonna go to, like, the threat here is you're going to go to the palace and call it in, like call it
Basically.
and be like,
Like, I've been suddenly being like, I have connections.
mm-hmm.
Alright, let's go.
A 7. Okay, so they're gonna ask for something, or you ask for something. Hold on. 7 to 9. They will do what you ask, but need some concrete assurance of your promise. So they're gonna need you to. All right. Look, your bodyguard is wanted for connections with the actual suspects. If you can just get him to write down what happened that night, then I can get him out for you.
Of course. That sounds more than... Thank you.
All right, follow me and leave that hammer here.
Of course.
Farron, don't. Farron, no. Farron, get back here. Farron. And she'll like flag someone else to take over her spot at the desk, and she'll start taking you downstairs. Meanwhile, Vori,
Yep.
you're camped out in an alleyway.
For the moment, yes.
For the moment. And I think you've been sort of near the gates, so that you've got, like, once they open, you could get out right in the morning if you need to. And you've been listening to the guards sort of to pass time. They're, like, probably playing some sort of card game or something, and every once in a while you'll hear them be like, "Yay!" Or you'll hear someone swear loudly. And it helps pass the time. But you notice, or you have noticed after a couple minutes, that it's gotten very quiet. You're
Like
not-
abruptly, or it kind of
just
faded off?
like you were only hearing the loud peaks of their revelry, and you haven't heard them in a couple minutes, which stands out to you.
Okay.
What do you do?
Yeah, he'll kind of emerge from the alley, but only after taking a good look to make sure nobody's like waiting or searching around. Specifically, like any paladins.
Would you say that you are closely studying a situation or
Sure,
a
why
location
not?
or whatever it is?
That's fine. Well, whatever.
Mark XP.
Still walking out anyway.
Yeah,
Fuck
you
it.
don't see any paladins, and I get to do a thing. So give me just a second. This one. You step out gingerly into the street. You don't see any paladins. And as you look toward the gate, you notice that it is open. It is cracked open.
He's gonna look in the other direction, into the city, and see if he can see any sign of anybody.
Nothing out of the ordinary. No one really walking around. It's late at this point, and the weather's been terrible, so people just aren't out and about.
Okay.
I think at this point the rain has probably stopped, and so everything just has that that sheen.
Wet. Like the gate is open only partly, or
Yeah, I think this one is
is this a
drawbridge
It's not.
gate
It's not
or
a. It's not a
open
portcullis. It's
gate?
two doors with a bar,
Okay.
and the bar is off to the side, and the door is
Okay.
open like 2 feet.
Okay. He's gonna check to make sure the street is clear and lean out and take a peek, see if there's anything to see out there.
So you're going up to the gate and looking out.
Only as
Uh,
long as there's nobody there that looks like they would see.
Yeah. So looking out the gate, you see the expanse of the plains around Two Rivers. Nothing out
More
of the ordinary.
specifically, where are the guards?
Okay, so poking around, like, so you can't see them at the gate. You can't see them in the gate, but if you like look through the door to the guardhouse,
That's what he's
ev-
looking for.
Yeah, so even just like peeking through the crack, you see a pool of blood that is spreading across the floor. And opening the door, you see several guards around a table, slumped with arrows sticking out of them. And you recognize the fletching. They're from a particular kind of mountain eagle. And you know that the Order of the Ash uses these feathers for their arrows.
All right. Gonna snap the end off one of those arrows to keep the fletching and stow it away. And get the fuck out of there.
I think we see you like booking it and like heading down a side alleyway, and we can see someone with a guard with a torch raise it and shout, "Who's there?" But you're gone. And we cut back to prison. And Arrow and Gregor, you hear the door open again, and 2 pairs of feet. One of them obviously not a guard, but you can't quite see them yet. All right, here's some paper and a pen. Just get what we need. I'll get him out for you. Just make it quick, please. And then you see Farron walk, maybe a little unsure, into the torchlight, holding these sheafs of paper into this pen.
Yeah, Arrow is like backed away from the cell area, like the hall, kind of like towards the back a little bit.
And walked in. Hello, Gregory.
Hi, Farron.
I have managed to speak with this very nice guard. We can clear
Oh.
up this whole situation. If you were able to write down the events of what happened 2 nights ago, is that what it is?
Sure thing.
And Farron will kind of step back and definitely looks over at. Very subtly looks over at Arrows. So. Kind of raises an eyebrow. Had no story for Arrow yet. Doesn't
No.
just get one person out of the time.
Yeah, no. Arrow doesn't say anything.
So he's supposed to just kind of acknowledge, like, okay.
Yeah, Arrow's very much like, don't worry about me. Do what you can
Again.
for Gregor here.
Kind of raised eyebrow. Yeah, I just lean up against one of the. Wait.
Yeah, Gregor will start to get to work. And, being that legit, all Gregor has done the last couple days is go to the Bardic Showcase and then hang out at the tavern. It's very easy. He's
Yeah.
more or less honest about it, but, like,
Mhm.
he really doesn't have any useful information for them.
Yeah.
Other than they're out and he truly had no idea. Or he's been asleep.
Yeah. So you write that down. And then Farron, handing it to the guard, she'll like read it over. All right. She'll trudge over to your cell and just clunk, unlock it, swing open the door. Come on, get out.
Very much appreciated. Farron will stick out a hand.
Very sorry.
Stick out a hand to handshake.
Yeah,
and
she'll.
definitely slip her a gold.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I think she'll take it. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience.
I understand. Sometimes just things happen.
Alright. Alright, well,
And,
if that's it.
That is all, thank you.
Did we take anything from you when you came in? She looks at you, Gregor. No. Farron has your hammer.
I guess I passed out in my armor, so I guess I'm in it.
Yeah, you passed it. Yeah.
I guess my shield might be at the tavern right now.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Unless they decided to take all. Well, I didn't go into our room, so maybe not then.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so yeah, I think I'm just Sans hammer right now. Or
Alright.
Sans shield.
And she'll walk the two of you back out. And we're just about at the top of the hour. So I think this is a good point for us to, as the two of you like stand out and now the rain slick, but no longer raining city, and look at each other. I think this is a
No,
good point.
Farron's very pointedly not looking.
Gregor looks over at Aaron. I think this is a good point for us to take our final break of the night. So we're going to step away for a little bit. When we return, we're going to see if there's anything they can do to spring their good arrow boy from jail. See you soon. Hello and welcome back to episode 9 of From Dust. With the whole party, no one's internet went down. Everything is fine. So, Gregor, you have been bailed out of prison by Farron.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Farron, did you give Skullbreaker back over to Gregor?
Oh yeah. Oh, but right before being like, see, I managed to do things my way.
Yes, you have set up things perfectly. Okay, Gregor, now turn around and while they least expect it, give them a show of force. Show them that they can't treat you this way, and they never will again.
Farron has started walking.
Wait, Farron, come back.
Gregor, we must speak about this elf's influence over you. I'm worried that they are not cut out for the sort of work you need to do.
Yeah, 1 second. All right. Did they catch you up on anything, Farron?
Not really, Gregory.
All right. Well, before you Gregory me, Arrow and Vori are suspecting killing Bishop
Cavendish.
Cabanera, whatever his name was.
Bishop Carbonara.
Yeah. So I was trying to keep you guys out of trouble, so we gotta find a way to prove their innocence.
Right, so you decided to get into trouble and just kind of do your weird, I can do this myself thing.
They didn't know you were there.
Right.
And now we're both out of the tavern. So if they go back looking for us, we're gone.
I mean, yes, that is how searching works. We should go back. This is more of a mess than I was hoping for. I was hoping that we could just leave after we get the news from the Duke, but...
Yeah, well, life had other plans. So, are you aware of anybody that would have done this? Arrow didn't seem to suspect anybody.
I can't say I'm very much in the loop about the church and what enemies they have, because I can imagine they would have quite a few. So, no, I don't know anybody off the top of my head.
Gosh, we could try to find Vori, but he could be anywhere right now.
And if they find us, finding Vori, then it could possibly get all of us in trouble again. He's able to take care of himself, and like anybody, he has quite the self-preservation instincts.
I think this is a good time to cut over to him. As Vori, you step out of an alleyway and you see a guard walking along with a lantern.
Cool. How new to the job do they look?
Just roll me 2d6. This isn't a move. This is just luck.
Sure.
Pretty new, actually.
Sweet.
Um,
Excellent.
she's probably like 18, 19.
Oh. Now I feel bad. Oh well.
Gotta start working when you're an adult, and
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he'll just kind of emerge, like he's on his way to somewhere, but not bothering to try and hide. So figure she'll notice.
she'll nod politely to you. Good evening.
Evening. Can I borrow you for a moment?
Is something the matter?
There seems to be a bit of trouble at the gates. I was
Really?
just passing by. Seemed a bit frightfully quiet up there. I'm not about to go outside myself, obviously. But it seems like someone should check it out.
Oh, okay. Yes, I can do that. Thank you, citizen.
Of course. You shouldn't go alone. Do you mind if I stick by you? A little off center here, but
I would like you to defy danger. But I'm gonna give you a +1 on this for selecting a
because
target.
I'm cute.
Sure.
Because she's an innocent bab.
Yeah, that's
She
why.
doesn't suspect.
Basically.
So +1, you said?
Yeah.
All right. Roll defy danger with what?
I'm thinking this is charisma because you're using charm.
Sure.
And social grace.
Sure.
A 7. Okay. Worst outcome: a hard bargain or an ugly choice. Yeah, she'll let you walk with her. And as you go, when you get sort of close to the gates, you realize that there's already another guard there.
Cool.
Yeah, so you're like walking along, like down this alleyway, the same one that you retreated down, but you can see the glow of another lantern.
Okay. Oh,
Looks like perhaps someone's already there.
Ah, perfect. I'll go see who it is. And,
I'm sure you don't have to bother. You have a route you were on, yes?
right, but if something's happened, I should check in. Right?
I'm sure they've got it well in hand. It was just a bit spooky, that's all. I thought I should get someone.
Are you doing anything supernatural to...
Not yet.
Okay.
If she starts to insist, I will.
Yeah, she's like, thank you. You can go along.
Please, why don't you come with me?
Okay. So
So
what,
yes, his eyes
what
are
is it
going to
that you're
flash a
doing?
little bit brighter blue. That is going to be Firebrand, I think.
Okay, so you're...
That's the, like, I want her to agree, but it be her idea, not...
You're incepting her. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Alright. Fuck. Naturally, any roll I do where it actually matters, I suck.
I'm going to be kind and give you the +1 because the situation of her trusting you hasn't changed. So what's a 7 to 9 on this move?
Their passion fades away after a day or two.
Okay.
So, like, basically, if it's a success, they believe the idea to be their own and take to it with fervor. The at a cost is apparently it fades off after a couple days.
Okay, and so the idea here is that she should be going with you.
Yeah, I just want to get her away from there.
Okay, so this is, for context, this is going to be more than just she's gonna step away from you and then go back to her work. If the idea is
Oh
you
boy,
must come with me, she's gonna stick around.
I made a friend. Yes,
Okay.
cool. I got a guard.
Right.
Yay.
Right. Okay. Let's go then. Lead on.
This way.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
All right. Well, Listen,
what's your name, by the way?
Let me think about that for a hot second, because no way is she getting his real name.
Azorius.
Azorius, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Isabel.
Isabel. What a pretty name.
Thank you.
So sorry to pull you away from your business. It's just been a bit
It's no problem at all.
dangerous these last few days.
Of course, yes. I'll make sure you're safe.
Much
Don't worry.
obliged. I don't suppose you'd like to take a little walk toward the church with me?
Of course. Wherever you need to go, I'm with you.
Inside, he's thinking, well, that worked way better than I thought. That's not how this is supposed to work, but okay, we'll handle it.
So yeah, gonna make their way there, but not too close. He just wants to see people going in and out for a bit.
Alright.
Are, like, Gregor and Farron somewhere?
No. So the constabulary is separate from the church. So
okay.
where they were imprisoned is in a different place. Vori
Okay.
wouldn't necessarily know that they were taken to the constabulary, so it makes
Sure.
sense that you would go to check the church. But no,
Sure.
you don't see them there.
All right, Isabel, darling, I have
Yes?
a really immense favor to ask you.
I
I have some friends who've been wrongly accused and may have been taken into custody.
Oh no. I'm so sorry to hear that, Vori.
I don't suppose you could help me get them out?
Maybe. What were they accused of?
Well, you know that business with the bells ringing earlier this morning?
Yesterday, the bishop, yes.
Yes. I think they may think we're involved in that.
Oh. That's...
Which, mind you, we are not.
Of course not. You would never, I'm sure.
No.
Alright, well, I'll just go in and explain that to them, and I'm sure we'll get this sorted out very quickly.
Right. Well, if you would maybe just try to put in a good word for them, I'd best stay out of the way. I don't think I will.
Really stick close to you.
Right, of course. You know what? Do me a favor. He's going to take the little piece of fletching out. Hang on to this.
Okay,
Present it to them.
alright. What is this?
And then you can go ahead and explain it. It's evidence that was found on the bodies.
Which bodies? Was somebody killed other than the bishop?
Yes. There's been a few around, unfortunately.
Oh, that's dreadful.
Exactly why I don't like walking around by myself at night, you understand?
Of course, yes.
As he holds up his unarmed self.
Stay close. And she draws her sword and puts herself like bodily in front of you, and you notice she's like starting to check alleyways and streets to look for anyone suspicious. All right.
So if you could speak on my behalf and let them know that you've found that.
Yes, follow close behind,
Of course.
and she'll start leading you toward the constabulary.
Yep. Cool.
So I think, oh god, you walk up to the constabulary, and as you're approaching, the door opens, and Arrow walks out. And we're gonna do a time jump. We're gonna cut back a little bit earlier. Arrow, you are sitting in your cell, and the claustrophobia is really starting to get to you, and this little rat walks up to you, like skitters in, starts like chewing on the half decaying hay that is your bed.
Hello.
What does the thing say? It just says you can speak to and understand, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I can speak with and understand any non-magical or non-planar creature.
Hello.
Animal.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Are you dead yet?
No, not yet.
See, it goes back to rummaging through the bed.
What is there any potential that I would have any rations on me? Like in a bag?
Anything that you were carrying
They
would
would've
have been
taken.
confiscated, yeah.
No. What are you up to?
Finding food. Sometimes food gets left here. Because the big things don't like it. Sometimes the big things die and then they're food.
Alright. Was there anyone else down here other than me?
Yes. They're all still alive though.
Do you
Scurries
hear
over to you and
anything
sniffs
around
your
here?
boot.
Yeah. Do you hear anything around here? Anything interesting?
The big things make loud noises.
Yes. I'm sorry I don't have anything to give you. And that I'm not dead.
Like sniffs, like stands up and sniffs up at you. Will you be dead soon?
Unlikely. But we'll see.
I think it scurries to the bars. I think that way. The next one will be dead soon. Which is good. I'm
next
hungry.
one. Is the rat like gesturing to the cell next to me?
Yeah, roughly.
Would you check on them and see if they're alive?
Yes. And scurries over. And then comes back. Yeah, still alive. It's doing the thing that the big
Breathing.
things do before they die. Yes, like breathing, but faster and longer and louder. And wetter.
Arrow will like kind of bang on the cell to try and make noise to see if he can hear any movement coming from over there.
Like see if anyone reacts to it.
Yeah.
No reaction.
Well, there's not much I can do about it from in here.
If you could, would you help me?
Help you.
Make them dead.
I mean, if they're on their way out, I doubt they need my encouragement.
Sometimes it takes time. It depends. Sometimes they stay here, and then when they're done, they die. Other times, they get taken out, and then they die outside.
How would I help you anyway? I'm trapped in here.
I didn't think of that. Is that what this place is? For big things?
Yes. Have you ever seen a rat cage?
I don't
Trap.
like them.
No, I wouldn't think so. Yes, that's like for big things here.
Oh. Well, it's good that they make the bars big. That way we can eat you when you die. When we die, you can't get in to eat us. We just stay there.
Well, I'm glad that we can be some use to you when we're dead.
It scurries back up to you and sniffs up in the air towards you. Do you put
Well,
rats in cages?
no, I don't.
That's good.
What would I do with a rat?
What would you do with a rat?
Exactly my point.
Oh. You were making a point you weren't asking.
Don't let me keep you from your next meal.
Okay. I'm going to go wait. And it scurries out the door. You hear the door to the jail open up above.
Mm-hmm.
And the familiar face of the Legata peers in through the bars at you. What's your name?
Darrow.
Arrow. What did you talk about with the bishop 2 nights ago?
I came to tell him that one of his own was killed.
Is that by you?
No, she was traveling with me, but
Who was this?
her name was Rydia.
Lydia. I see. Well, why did you come back today?
I had heard the bells. I wanted to see what had happened. I'd been outside the city for the day. And, discovered that the bishop had been killed and just wanted to see if there was anything I could do from there. But I can see why I would be a suspect.
You were last seen with Vorial.
Yes.
Vorial had had an argument with the bishop? What was that about?
It was very similar to the way that parents and children bicker over hurt feelings and past actions.
Could you be more specific?
About leaving, or rather being thrown away by the bishop.
His Vorial was left somewhere, sent out?
They knew each other when he was a child.
Look, I understand you're trying to kill time, but... And then the door at the top of the stairs opens. Then you see one of the other paladins come down. Legata, there's been a development at the gates. The guards, you were killed. Same arrows as the bishop. They're not his. Alright. Spread the word. We're only looking for Vorial. He'll pull a key off of his belt. Apologies for taking your time this evening. Please understand
it's all
we
right.
are doing our best to find justice.
Yes, I understand.
If you know anything, if you see Vorial, if you speak with him, tell him that his best option is to come to us on his own.
If he knew you were looking for him, he might have left.
Let's hope he didn't. 'Cause I'm the one he's going to want to talk to, not the Red Hands.
Alright, well, if I see him, I'll let him know.
For his sake, I hope you do. He'll step out of your way.
One last thing.
Yes.
The person next to me, they think they're dying.
Ah. Yes, her execution is tomorrow.
For what?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, I do.
A crime of murder. She killed her brother.
He just nods and kind of like glances in as he walks by.
Yeah, you see a woman in her early 30s, and she's just sort of huddled in a corner. You see the rat at the door to the cell, watching her, and she's just sort of silently crying.
Yeah, I think he whispers at the rat, "Leave her be."
And we just like hear the little squeaky sounds. And then you're let go. You're given your stuff back, and you step outside, and Vori is walking up with a guard.
Oh, wonderful.
Sorry. I found her.
Hello?
Oh, did they let you out?
I did.
Wonderful. Problem solved. We don't need to be here any longer. Shall we go?
They're looking for you.
Don't we need to explain
No,
your friend's innocence?
This is the friend. Apparently they've...
I'm innocent.
Oh. She'll sheathe her sword and hold out her hand. Friend of Azurius. I'm
And who
Isabel.
is that? Oh, right. Of
Don't
course.
you know Azurius?
That's the proper name.
Yes.
Oh.
And goes by go by a nickname or two.
We're on very good terms.
This is Arrow. Arrow, this charming young lady is Isabel, a fine, upstanding member of the city guard.
Yeah, he'll shake her hand.
All right.
We should leave.
Should
I
we?
really want to see you inside.
Maybe
Do they?
we should go talk to them.
That's right, Isabel. I think so.
If I end up in a cell because of this,
I'll come get you out.
I will burn my way out and I will
I
find
can't condone breaking the law, Arrow. I understand you and Azurius must be very close, but
Legally, I meant.
right.
Right.
Through all the
Okay.
proper channels.
Why don't you two stay out here and get to know each other?
I
while
think it would be best if I stuck with you, Azurius.
Right. Well, don't use my name because people might ask questions.
Really?
Yes.
How odd.
Isabel, you could wait out here with me. I'm perfectly safe.
I'll just be going inside. I won't be that far away. Don't
I'm
worry.
afraid I really must go with him.
What have you done?
Fine, but let me
Azarius?
do the talking, all right?
Very, very well. Perhaps I can introduce you.
No, it's all right. Sweet girl, please don't.
Are you trying to convince her not to?
Yup.
Okay. Are you using any magical means to do so, or are you just being,
Oh, you know, we're
Social.
already in this deep. I guess I could the other one. This could be helpful if it succeeds.
Do it.
I'm gonna give you +2.
Okay.
You've got,
She super trusts me.
What a
Yeah.
sweet girl.
you have +1 from her naivete, and then +1 from she's bewitched.
I am the best person.
Sure.
Nice.
Okay, so
So
yeah.
you say, please don't. And what do we see in that moment?
I think it's actually pretty subtle. It's just there's a bit of a flash. His eyes are pretty bright blue anyway, but they
Mhm.
sort of are unnaturally bright for just a half second
Mm-hmm.
as he says those words. And there's just sort of that. I think not in the world, but there's that sense we'd hear like the whisper of a flame.
All right. So as that happens, she goes from this like concerned look to just sort of deadpan. Yes, Azurius. Whatever
Good.
you wish.
Fine. And well, while we're at it, you might as well call me Vorial. Everyone else does.
Vorial. Yes.
Yes.
Arrow's just shaking his head, like, can't
Now-
believe you.
Will you stay out here with him for me? He needs protection just as much as I do.
I will.
Good.
I will stay right here.
Good. I'll be right back. I hope.
He just gives Arrow a look of anger.
And walks inside.
If you need help getting out, just ask the rat.
If I'm just going to go deal with this myself.
And he'll go downstairs.
As you walk into the door of the constabulary, you see a paladin, it's that same Legata, who is talking with the desk sergeant, and he looks over his shoulder to sort of see who's walked in, and then goes back to his conversation, and then he like stands up and turns around. I know you. You were at the tavern.
Evening? Yes. Heard you were looking for Vorial?
Tension mounts in the room. I am. You're wanted for questioning.
Bold of you to assume that's exactly who I am. But I'll give you that one. Congratulations. Shall we have a little conversation so I can tell you that no, I didn't do it?
Do what?
Whatever it is you think you want me for. Whatever it is you just arrested my friend for.
He looks out the door. Fortuitous timing, I suppose. Alright. Come this way.
Yes, yes. Lead on.
He'll lead you to a room with a stool and some devices you would prefer not to think too hard about. And he'll have you sit down at the on the stool and post two of his paladins outside and one inside with him.
Well, get on with it. What do you want?
You had an argument
know?
with Bishop Cavendish. What was it about?
As most children do with their fathers, yes.
I don't believe the bishop had any children.
No, he didn't, but he adopted two that were given to the church, my sister and I.
Ah. Right. Your sister... the knight errant?
Viridius. Yes.
Right.
Who is now dead thanks to her work at the church.
Is
Could
that
we
what you
move
were-
on, please?
Is that what you were arguing with the bishop about?
In a manner of speaking.
Do you blame him?
Of course I do.
I see. So you were angry for the loss of your sister. You wanted to make things even?
No. Wanted to give him a piece of my mind, certainly. Which I did. With very loud words.
He was given far more than that.
How?
Roll... Defy danger. I think, with
With-
charisma. Seven plus. Okay. I think he's gonna answer your question, but I don't think he's quite convinced yet.
Sure.
An arrow to the throat in his office. One shot.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't know how to shoot a damn thing. You could test me if you want.
You could easily just fake not being good at it.
I could barely pull the bowstring.
Doesn't keep you from hiring someone else to. You had the
I don't have
motive,
that
the
much
access.
money.
He didn't try to defend himself, so whoever it was, probably he knew them.
What makes you so sure of that? What makes you think there aren't people out there that could find their way into anywhere?
Because he was facing them.
Well, no, it wasn't me. That's not how I would kill him if I were to do it anyway.
Really?
Really.
How would you?
Not in the church, I'm not that stupid.
Killed a lot of people, Boreal?
Here and there. Mostly because they were trying to kill me first. You know how it is.
Sounds like you've lived a hard life.
I've lived a life. Outside of cities, mostly. Starting to see why.
I think you can make another roll here. as you diffuse the situation and build an
Sure.
alibi.
Is this a defy danger as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. Well, whatever.
All right. Mark experience.
Not
Gonna
that
do a
it'll
thing.
serve me.
No, it will. Well, try not to kill anyone while you're here. Do you know who else might have had a reason to kill the bishop?
He's quiet for a few minutes. I can think of lots of people that have no use for the church.
This is
Picking up
different.
the leadership is one way.
Whoever did this knew what they were doing. If it wasn't you, they managed to get access some other way. The arrow they used. Our Fletchers tell us that they're not from any bird that lives around here.
You'll have to be a little more specific.
I'm afraid I can't be.
That's a pity.
Foreign weapons. Skilled assassins. Your friend, Arrow, mentioned that you were given a mission by the bishop.
Yeah.
You suppose this is related?
It's not impossible.
Can you tell me what that mission was?
I could, but what use would it serve you?
I can't find who did this if I can't discern at least who would want to. And you'll forgive me, but given your demeanor, given the arms of your friend, I don't get the impression that this mission was one of peace.
No, not really. More like delving into some untouched place. More or less. Ruin hunting, adventuring, that sort of thing.
Ah,
You can't exactly walk out into the world completely unarmed.
not these days, no.
It's just continuing some work with my sisters. After a fashion.
I see. And how did your sister die? Was she murdered?
Demons.
My apologies.
She wasn't one to run away.
The good knights really are.
Yes. She was good. In any case, it's just picking up where she left off a bit is what he wanted. But now that he's so dead, I don't know if I see the point.
Well, obviously you're not an agent of the church.
No, thank
So as long as you're
goodness for that.
not breaking the law, can't tell you what to do. Be careful though. I can't help you if I don't know who's done this. It's possible they'll come for you too.
He just sort of shrugs. Well, if they do, I'll just have to be ready, or I die too.
Good luck then. Take care.
You as well.
He'll
Bit less
nod to
heavy-handed
the.
than your brethren.
What did you say?
Said you're a bit less heavy-handed than your brethren. Thank you for that.
It's in my training. My job's not to kill people. My job's to help people. And he'll hold up his like insignia around his neck, and it's a green gauntlet.
Expect you would have gotten on well with her. It's a shame.
It's always a tragedy, no matter who it is.
Well, allow me to get out of your hair for the evening.
Of course.
He'll get up
The
and leave if they let him.
Yeah, the other paladin will step aside and let you leave the room. And I think I would like to do a quick off-camera cutaway. We see a lavish garden in the moonlight. Flowers of various kinds, all in bloom. And we see a woman with pale skin, these black horns and black feathered wings that we have seen from when Vori and Arrow met Mab. And she's walking through the garden and checking on the flowers. And we hear a voice say, "Hello, wife of mine." And we see her stop and turn. "Gravis, what are you doing here? You've grown weak, as we all have." And stepping out of the shadows, we see this tall figure, probably 7-8 feet tall, humanoid, wearing armor that is engraved with leaves and vines, and his head is that of a stag. "Our time is coming. You can't hold us back forever." "I can try, dear husband. I can certainly try." And with that, that's the end of our episode. So, thank you
My
all.
wife.
Get fucked,
That's
Sliver.
mine.
Y'all, I got us a free guard.
That's mine.
Yeah, you did.
That's my wife.
Oh god, this is not going to go very wrong. Very fast.
Isabel.
Poor
You
Isabel.
could marry her if you want.
Oh
She seems
my
nice.
God, Jess.
She seems brain dead.
Yeah, that's
I
not
think it wears off. I hope it wears off. Oh,
yeah,
well.
the question is, how long does it take for that to happen, and will you be around when it does?
Listen.
So,
I might take her with
I'm
us. She
mad.
seems nice.
I'm mad. My wife.
thank you all so much. Let's do shout-outs. If I remember how to do that on this show. Alright, Summer.
I'm so mad. Yeah, I'm Summer. I'm here every Saturday. Until I quit because my wife is married. And it's not to me. What's going on? I thought we were in love, but I was wrong. Okay. You can find me at Just a Summer Job on Twitter. I tweet about everything that I do. I'm on shows Monday through Saturday. So just see what I'm retweeting because I'm too lazy to tweet myself. But yeah, Monday I'll be over on Off the Table. That's my Twitch channel, off_the_table. And we will be back with some Tales from Thersha, our D&D 5e homebrew game. So check that out. It's gonna be a good good time. If you like birds with teeth, that's where you will find them.
No one likes birds with teeth.
Everybody loves birds with
No
teeth.
one likes birds with teeth.
Everybody loves a good toothy bird smile.
Oh, God.
No. Nobody asked for that.
I hate it.
Nobody asked for it, but everybody wants it and they get it.
Okay. Jess, save us from that mental image by discussing where
Yep.
people can find you.
Yep. Cool. Neat. Yeah. I have nothing to do with birds with teeth, thank God.
Thank God.
You can, however, find me here every Saturday as well because Summer and I are trying to take over this channel from Dylan.
Basically.
We've been working on it.
Trying and
steadily.
succeeding.
Yes. Next weekend, I promise, I will play a much less worse human being. Dylan, do not give me that look. Y'all can't see it. Anyway. On Thursdays, you can find me at Scraticus Academy running a bunch of darling people through a Black Ryujin Ryutama campaign, and it's getting pretty darn good. We're coming up to the end. If it's JRPG, we're on, the end of Disc 2 right now. So, that's a fun time. I do some stuff with Encounter Roleplay, and you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Little Cup of Joe, and you can find me over on my channel in 30 minutes, an hour, and we're gonna
Hell yeah.
mouth punch some samurai with our mouths, hopefully.
This will be good.
Yeah, should be fun.
We've been making Eba wait a while.
Yeah. God, it hurts me.
Kiana, where can people find you doing awesome stuff?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at KennaS. That's where to figure what I'm doing. No, play mobile. Every day of the usually not 14 hours. Usually.
Yeah, get some sleep.
Yeah. I'm gonna pretty ready to crash. But this was fun. Yeah, Farron's getting attached
Uh-oh.
to and that's a little concerning.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who's he getting who are they getting attached to?
It's just concerned about everybody. It's just I'm like,
Good.
oh, what are these? Oh no.
They should be,
Hi.
honestly.
Half of us are in jail. No, we're all out of jail.
Yeah, now you're all out of jail, and also, yeah, Farron's gonna have to deal with why they're so angry at Greg every time he does these things. Situation. So that's fun.
So Vori's assumption is going to eventually come true, is what you're saying.
I'm not ruling it out of the question.
Love it.
I mean, never denied my Gregor.
They're married. just so you all know, they're married. They're just trying to figure it out right now.
They just don't know it yet.
They're married and they don't know.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next episode.
Alrighty. Adam, speaking of Gregory Whitebread, where can people find you?
Oh no, Adam, you're muted.
You're muted.
Oh no. Or we just have a sound issue.
Uh-oh.
It's literally lighting up green.
Try leaving the
no.
Discord. Oh, there you are.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know why.
All you
I
had to
wasn't
do was
muted.
nothing.
Okay. My job here is done.
I was gonna say, you could just move your mouth and one of us will dub for you.
I guess. All right, get ready, friends. So while I have some audio, I am on the Twitters at AdamRowVO. I do voiceover. I do this every couple of weeks. I do a show on YouTube where I talk about tabletop RPGs. And I never plugged this, but I'm gonna. I'm also on Instagram, AdamRoseMinis, where I paint miniatures. And I share them. So if you guys want to see some of that stuff, that's where I usually post that too.
All right. Fantastic. And yeah, his minis are fucking dope. He's been posting pictures in Discord every once in a while. So definitely take a look at that. And yeah, so that's our show. We will be back. I think we'll be back in 2 weeks. Let me check my calendar, actually. Make sure that's not during... Yeah, that's during PAX.
Oh,
so,
no.
unfortunately, Jess will be at PAX U, and I'm the GM, and I'm going to be at PAX too.
I'm also gonna be at PAX, so
Yeah,
3
so-
out of
so
5.
we're
yeah,
gonna
because
find-
Kiana and I are
Well,
So
definitely going together.
I'll give
Yeah, we're
Summer...
roommates.
I'll give Summer a temp stream key, and she and Adam can hang out, and
I'm in control.
I'm not doing that. I know better.
Give me the power. I will make it good. It will be good TV.
I mean, like,
We're gonna
3
do
of
a
us are
side
at
scene.
PAX U. If we could just figure out, like...
Yeah, let's get the two of you over there.
Just get in a hotel room together and let's all stream. Fine.
It'll be like
I mean-
half real Dungeon World.
Half
like,
IRL.
actual-
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Don't fuck around, roll
probably
dice.
won't have an episode on the 1st, but keep an eye
We'll
on my
see.
Twitter.
I'll be
Who
there.
knows? Who knows?
I'll be here running the show.
Speaking of, I'm gonna be at PAX Unplugged, so if you're gonna be there, come say hi. Also, presumably, come say hi to Jess and Kiana.
Yeah.
I'm looking at having buttons to hand out. So if you like that, definitely come find me. And those buttons are going to be for... Perfect segue, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. Those are going to be for my game, Become, which is on Kickstarter right now. Let me put that link in chat. Become is an RPG, a tabletop RPG of artificial intelligence investigating mysteries. But the biggest mystery that you are trying to solve is, who are you? And who are you becoming? If you are curious about the game system and want to give it a look, there is a quick start guide available on the Kickstarter for the low price of a $1 pledge. And if that's still too steep for you, or you just learn better by watching people play it, we are going to be playing it over on Jess's channel tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be Jess and Em and Julie and Lauren, and it's going to be so good. I'm super excited.
Wait.
So yeah, definitely give that a look. If you can't pledge, or you're just not feeling it, please share it with your friends and your family and your gaming groups. Kickstarters rely pretty heavily on getting the word out, on being passed around to lots of people. So every little bat really makes a difference. Every little bit of help
Arrow.
really makes a big difference. So yeah. I think that's it for me. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. All of them are on RSS. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to the 4 of you for coming out and going through this good drama. This has been rejuvenating. I swear, my skin is 5 years younger now. And yeah. Most importantly, though, have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night.